Welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. It's game day. The Indiana Fever will take on the Atlanta Dream this evening. That's Friday evening. It's a big game, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But first, I want to say thank you. Thank you to every person who watches the Adrienne Ross Show, every subscriber of the Adrienne Ross Show. But I want to give a special shout out to the members of the Adrienne Ross Show. You hear me say all the time, I have the most generous members on YouTube and beyond. They're generous, they're supportive, they're amazing. And once a week on Thursdays, we have a members only live stream. We had one last night. It was over 2 hours and it was much needed. They come in fired up. They were especially fired up on Thursday. Lots of things going on in the world of the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Lots of stuff out there, I'm sure you know. And so we needed that time as a group to really get in there and share what we're thinking. And they shared what they're thinking, and they listened to me share what I'm thinking. And one will challenge the other. And it is the most amazing community. And so, like I said, last night, we really dialed in and had a great conversation. What I appreciate about them, even beyond their support, is that their understanding of who I am. And I hear from people all the time. One of the things that people appreciate about me is that I'm going to be real. I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon. I'm not going to be a part of an echo chamber. I'm not going to do it. So if I'm talking about something, one of the things they know, whether they agree or not, one of the things they know is that I mean what I say. I'm not looking for clicks. I mean, we're all, we do this content. We obviously want people to want to look. That's not what I mean. I mean, I'm not doing the clickbait thing. I'm not doing follow the leader. If I'm talking about it, it's because that's what I believe. And I'm going to be true to what I believe. And so what I love about our community is they understand that. We agree lots of times. Sometimes we disagree. And we had a plethora of it on Thursday night. Just amazing. And so thank you all so much for your support. Love you guys so much. Okay, so now let's talk about basketball. This game coming up, you heard me say it's a big game. It is a big game because the Fever has been going through, as we say. No team in the WNBA has faced what the Indiana Fever is facing, has faced, and I dare say is facing. Now, there are teams where people are injured. Of course, that's a part of sports. But the magnitude of what this team has gone through, when your star player is in and then out and then in and then out and then back in, and then you've got other people who are injured, and you got one with a death in the family, and then you got to leave to play for your country, and the injury, that same person had been injured at one time, and then you got to bring somebody in for hardship, and then they got to go away, and then somebody else quits on the team, and then that person was here for the hardship, that person comes back, and you got the personal matters, and you got all the noise out there, and you've got all the eyeballs. There is no other team. There's no other coaching staff with the scrutiny. And I talked about this before when we talked about free agency. And I said, if you come into Indiana, you have to be ready for the scrutiny because people are watching the Indiana Fever. My hope for this team going forward and just immediately with this game tonight, my hope is that this team has not been soaking in a whole lot of social media, because again, there's a lot of noise out there. There are narratives out there. Actually, there's really a narrative out there, and a lot of people on board with the narrative, pushing the narrative, etc. So there's just a lot. For those of you who don't know, the word noise derives from where we get nausea and nautical, right? The seasickness. Yeah, that really sums this thing up. A lot of noise out there. And my hope is that this team has been mature enough to push back against the constant conversations out there that will play on you, your psychologically, emotionally, and can impact how you play on the court, which is one of the reasons why I do tend to step back, because I'm very aware of platforms and the responsibility that comes with that. And so I don't just jump on stuff. I got to be true to what I truly believe, because with that platform comes responsibility. And I hope the team understands that as professional athletes, they need to be responsible enough to step back from a lot of the noise so that it doesn't affect their play on the court. They got enough stuff affecting their play on the court. I want us to hear from a couple of the Fever team members to talk about what they had to say during their, I guess it was during practice, media availability. Sophie Cunningham had a lot to say, and I want to show quite a bit of that. And then I'm going to show a little bit of what Kelsey Mitchell said. Listening to Sophie yesterday, I kind of felt like she was absolutely speaking what I was speaking the night before, after the day game, the Indiana Fever and the Valkyries, in which the Fever were annihilated, if you will. So I'm just listening to her. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm trying to bring across as well. I appreciate the sense of urgency from Sophie, and I appreciate that she was absolutely real. One of the things I do hope, though, I'll just say before I start to play some of this, I hope the team, although every member has to understand the urgency and has to understand, as Sophie said, that they're running out of time, I hope they understand also that they can't press too much. And I'm not talking about the basketball term press. I'm not talking about a full court press. I'm talking about when you get in your own way and you're trying to do so much and you overcomplicate. Basketball, it's a simple sport. Do the simple things. It's not an easy sport, but it's a simple sport. Make the simple pass. Make the simple read. Do the simple things like come out and play good defense and then get out on the break. Like, don't overcomplicate. And what happens is when you start to feel like you're pressed and your back is against the wall too much, then a lot of times you try to do too much. And then you end up trying to play hero ball. And then you're not playing to win. You're playing not to lose, because your mindset now is, we can't go on a 3-game losing streak. We got, play the game you know how to play. It's like I say all the time, there's no 10-point shot, right? It's possession by possession by possession. It's game by game. So hopefully in this game, they have a sense of urgency, but they don't get completely lost in how crucial the moment is, so that they can play the game the way they know how to play. And this team can beat Atlanta, but it's going to be tough. And it's going to be tough for a number of reasons. I'll talk about that after I share with you some of what Sophie and Kelsey had to say. But yeah, it's going to be a battle, and it's not just because of the basketball. It's not just between the sidelines and between the baselines. It's more than that right now with this team and what Atlanta's approach to this team will be. So let's first go to Sophie. Here's some of what she had to say. We're going to go to the Indiana Fever's YouTube page.
I think that everyone saw that we kind of got some flow when Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking. But now we have to have a new offense when she's in there, because she just brings that much to the game. And so we have to adjust. And I think all of us just want it now. We know what the potential of this team can be, but we can't think about that. You really have to take day to day, and stuff that worked here, we need to carry it over to tomorrow's game. We have a lot of games coming up, and I think like 7 days or whatnot. And so it's mentally making sure that we're good. It's physically making sure we're getting recovery, making sure we're taking care of our bodies off the court. But we're trying to figure it out. And I think you guys see it. I think we're all a little frustrated. We're trying to figure out what's clicking, what's not clicking, what works for us defensively. But at the end of the day, I think what we can hang our hat on is not getting outworked, making sure that we're the aggressors, making sure that we're getting O boards, controlling what we can control. And I think we need to do a better job at that. And if we can do that, I think stuff offensively will open up for us.
I have to say amen to that. This is one of the things that I was trying to point out. You can't control everything, but you can control some really important things that will help you win. And like she said, not being outworked, going after rebounds, not allowing O boards, offensive rebounds, and working your tail off. That part you can control, and it will open up things. I used to tell my players all the time, if you take care of the small things, the big things will take care of themselves. Let's continue.
So that's part of your role, I guess, when it comes to aggression, grit, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just making sure our energy is where it needs to be. It's making sure our focus is where it needs to be. I think we're all a little bit exhausted, but everyone is. We have a lot of games this season. And that's part of being a pro. And but I think tomorrow night you're going to see a lot of fight. We're starting to get a little bit pissed off, and that's, I think, what we need. We need a fire under our butts. And we should have had yesterday. We have to give credit to them. They're a great team, the Valkyries, but it's not to our standards. So we need to, we're running out of time, to be honest. And I think that it's going to light a fire under our butts. And so hopefully you'll see kind of that energy shift tomorrow.
She didn't mince words. They're pissed off. And that's a good thing. If you harness that and you have that fire that she's talking about under your butts, it's a good thing. You can make it work for you.
When you say you guys are a little pissed off, is that like specifically after yesterday? Is it just kind of the culmination of it?
I think all of it, right? It's like we have really good spurts, but it's just the consistency piece. And it's why are we not being consistent? Why are we not clicking when we need to click? Why do we get low when they go on a run? Like, it's basketball. This is the best league in the whole entire world. They're going to go on runs. That's what's supposed to happen in a game. But how do you handle that? How can you mentally and physically manage that? And so I do think that's part of my role, is making sure that the team stays together, making sure that, if we get a bad call or something bad happens, you come in, what are you going to do? What's the next play that we're going to do in order for us to get it back? And so we're trying to figure it out. We're all new. We have a new roster, but hopefully this one stays consistent and we can build off of it.
Well, as in, does it feel like you guys have had a toggle back and forth between identities with, you spent like Caitlin out, Caitlin's back, Caitlin out now, back and forth sort of thing?
Yeah, and it's no one's fault. I mean, no one wants to see anyone injured, right? And it's when she is playing with us, we play a different style of basketball, and it's almost like two different teams, right? When she's with us, you play a different style. When she's hurt, which hopefully she's done being hurt, Lord, please hear us. And then we play a whole nother different style. But I do think that once we catch rhythm with her in, we're going to be really, really good. But we can't just keep saying it. You got to put your money where your mouth is.
What do you think's contributed to the offense when there's these 8-minute periods where there's
nothing? Yeah. I mean, to be honest, yesterday, we're never going to shoot 30% again. I hope. We have too much offensive weapons on the floor to be shooting like that. I think we were a little out of whack, out of rhythm. But at the end of the day, you got to step up and knock down your shots, and that's myself included. Not so sure why we're missing our shots, but today's a new day. I think energy was a little low, but we were dialed in, and then that's a step forward in the right direction. But tomorrow, we owe them. We owe everyone at this point. And so my biggest point is control what you can control. You can't control your shot always going in, but what you can control is your effort on defense, your communication, outworking the other team. There's so many things that we can do to impact the game instead of just our shot falling. And so we have to mentally flip that switch.
Some good words there, words of wisdom. Control the things you can't control. And like she said, 30% shooting, you can't expect that that's going to happen again. So you're going to have to be able to move past that and control the part you can control. So we're going to move now to Kelsey Mitchell, just a little bit of what she said about all of it, really. There's so much, but let's listen to Kelsey for a little bit.
Everybody has a sense of agitation that you go through about, figuring out where you want to be as a group. If it was easy, everybody else would be doing it. So I think we're supposed to be doing what we're doing for a reason. And I think that this is an opportunity to fight or flight. And I like to think that our group is going to keep fighting, no matter what happens. So I guess pissed is the right word.
Atlanta's a tough team. I think they've given you some tough games this season. So what's been the focus heading into that matchup?
Oh, man. For one, you got to turn the page from what was. And I think for, knowing who we play, you have to be mindful of the fact that everyone's trying to win and cut our heads off. And, you get your best from everybody, and you got to use these moments and match the intensity. So playing BG and playing, Alicia Gray, who's also an all-star and Ryan, everything that comes with it, you got to be ready for the moment from a standpoint of you got to punch first. And I like to think that, we tired of getting punched in the face, so we're going to punch first tomorrow, no matter what happens.
Sorry. What stands out to you about those dry spells when you guys go 8+ minutes, shots aren't falling, things just feel stuck out there?
I think it obviously sucks when you're in it, which is why it's always, my hat's off to these guys that make playoff runs, Pacers, those guys. I mean, it's a different respect that you have to have for when it just doesn't go your way. And I think for us, it was just about making sure that we didn't separate, and we separated a little bit. So when it goes bad, we got to find a way to stay together regardless of the outcome. And those opportunities that I'm talking about that we can't miss anymore. It just can't happen no more.
And this is the point I want to highlight with what Kelsey Mitchell said. Here it is again.
When it just doesn't go your way. And I think for us, it was just about making sure that we didn't separate, and we separated a little bit. So when it goes bad, we got to find a way to stay together regardless.
The part that I wanted to highlight is the part that I replayed for you. And that's when she said, we have to make sure we don't separate. Then she put in, and we separated a little bit. And that was a very transparent admission on her part. So now we know a little bit. We don't know all that it looked like, but we know that this team has had some separation. There has been some butting of heads, and I'm sure it occurred in that locker room. As much as you say protect the locker room, people are people. If it is professional, if it is college, if it's high school, it happens. And especially when you're not consistently winning. Character is not revealed when everything is going well. I take that back. Sometimes it is, because some people can't win well either. So I take that back. But character, I think, is more so revealed. I'll put it that way. When you are under pressure. And this team is under pressure. And they are under pressure unlike any other team. That's why they deserve grace. Every one of them. So there's been a lot of pressure on them, and so she said they did separate, and I'm sure that's player to player. I'm sure that's with coaching staff. When I say I'm sure, like I don't know, but it's a pretty good educated guess that there was some separation that was going on. And it's easy to point the finger. It's easy to blame, and people out there, all the noise, they're going to do that. But when it comes to your team, you got to do what she said. And that is, okay, we did separate a little bit, but it's time to make sure we don't fall apart. But let me get back to when I say this is going to be a tough game. It's tough because Atlanta's a tough team. Atlanta's a physical team. Atlanta has Brittany Griner and Bree Jones underneath. And that's a matchup issue right there. But it's also going to be tough because of all the noise out there. And even what Kelsey Mitchell herself said. Not only have we been noticing that the team is up and down and struggling and going through stuff, sometimes doing really well, sometimes when it gets tough, like the game against the Valkyries and the loss to the Sparks, then we kind of forget that the team was looking pretty good. And then Caitlin comes back, and then, of course, you've got to adjust, just like they have to adjust when she's not on the floor because she brings so much. So it's been a constant state of adjustments and on the fly. So it's not just, we're not the only ones who noticed that. Trust me, Atlanta has noticed that. Atlanta is not going to hold back because Caitlin Clark is coming off of an injury. Atlanta's not going to hold back because, like, the last game, she said within 5 minutes, she was asking for a sub because she's got to get her breath back. So you got to be wise in how you play her and how you pull her in and take her out because she's coming back and she's catching her breath. And sometimes she's saying, I need a blow here. So we know it. The team knows it. But the Atlanta Dream also knows it. And the Atlanta Dream is going to come with that physicality against Caitlin Clark. And unfortunately, this is a league where the officials don't do what the officials should do. So all that noise, all the social media stuff, all the narrative about, Caitlin should go and this team and the coach and all the things that's out there, they're hearing it too. And they know as professional athletes that it works on you right here, which manifests physically on the play. So they're going to come and they're going to try to suck the life out of Indiana. Kelsey Mitchell said, we got to punch first. Well, I heard that too. And their focus is going to be, we're going to punch first and we're going to punch last and we're going to punch in between because they have so many things going on in Indiana that is beyond even basketball, because at this point it becomes psychological And that's why I say, I hope this team is not listening to all the stuff out there, which I too have decided I'm not listening to. Right. So for them, though, it's essential. For me, it's a matter of preference. For them, it's a matter of trying to get this thing turned around. I honestly would rather they not have to play Atlanta today. And by Kelsey Mitchell's side, I have a feeling she feels the same way. But their mindset has to be, it doesn't matter who the team is. It doesn't matter. We have to play our game and stick together. I hope that the starting lineup we're going to see in this game tonight will be Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, Natasha Howard, and Aaliyah Boston. That's my hope. I get having another point guard on the floor with Caitlin, particularly with all the pressure on her coming off of injury and all that. I get it. But Ari McDonald should come off the bench because she has a lot of energy on both sides of the floor. This is what we wanted last year for Caitlin. This is what we wanted this year. We wanted Caitlin to be able to catch breaks and not lose the same kind of intensity, the ability to push the ball up the floor, be able to handle the ball well, and even knock down the shot. So being able to have that off the bench is really big. I think that starting lineup, I just said, should be the starting lineup. And I also think that Caitlin and Ari can play together at points on the floor, but I wouldn't start that way for sure. So big game, tough game, and the Indiana Fever. We heard Sophie, we heard Kelsey. My expectation is they're going to come out with energy. They know it's a game of runs, as Sophie reiterated. It is a game of runs. Sustain those runs. But hey, get on some runs of your own. And then when they punch back, be ready to handle that. So once again, I appreciate all of you so much here on the Adrienne Ross Show. I appreciate the Indiana Fever. I'm in their corner. Listen, if you want to hang out tonight for the game, I intend to go live for this game. It is a passionate place. It's a positive place. So if you're here to root on this team and be passionate and say, scream and shout sometimes and yell at the television or whatever, that's welcome. What we don't want is a whole lot of negativity. We don't want that. But if you're here for some passionate community, that's also positive, then come on over to the Adrienne Ross Show for this live stream of the game. Looking forward to cheering this team on, prayerfully to victory. Subscribe to the show if you haven't done so yet. I will catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.